Chapter 3, Mishnah 7. The Mishnah summarizes the laws of Negaim that appear on clothing. These laws are discussed in Chapter 11, but the points relevant to our Mishnah are as follows. When a Kohen sees a deep green or deep red nega on clothing, he confines the item for 1 week. Unlike skin Negaim, clothing Negaim cannot be confirmed as Tameh right away. If, after 1 week, the nega has spread, increased in size, then the clothing is declared tameh and must be burned. If the nega remain the same size, then it must be scrubbed with certain chemicals to see if it can be removed. If the nega cannot be removed, then the item is confined for a 2nd week. If the nega remained the same size, and certainly if it spread after the 2nd week, then the clothing is declared tameh and must be burned. Unlike skin negaim that are ruled tahor after remaining the same for 2 weeks of confinement, clothing negaim are ruled tameh. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. Negaim of the clothing can become tameh in a period of confinement no longer than 2 weeks, and through any of these 3 signs, with a deep green color, with a deep red color, or with spreading of the nega. When we say that clothing can become tameh with a deep green color or with a deep red color, this applies whether these colors appear at the beginning, or at the end of the 1st week of confinement, or at the end of the 2nd week of confinement, or after being declared tahor. When we say that negaim of the clothing can become tameh with spreading, this applies only when the spreading is seen at the end of the 1st week of confinement, or at the end of the 2nd week of confinement, or after being declared tahor. Negaim of the clothing can become tameh in a period of confinement no longer than 2 weeks, which are counted as 13 days, not 14. This is because the 7th day of the 1st week counts as the 1st day of the 2nd week, as we learned in Chapter 1, Mishnah 4.